Axolotl. You know, if we took him out of the water, he would hunt on land.
Thought.
Our time is coming.
A chilling flashback takes place in Oregon on May 2, 1946. A small family sleeps soundly inside their home on a stormy night as heavy rain pounds relentlessly against the roof and windows. The wind howls through the trees outside, and occasional flashes of lightning illuminate the darkened rooms. The father stirs and gets out of bed, likely to check something disturbed by the weather. He walks cautiously into the yard, careful not to slip on the soaked ground, and opens the lid of a large underground water tank beside the house. Inside the home, his wife and young daughter remain asleep, unaware of the danger looming outside. Then something strange and terrifying occurs. An unseen force suddenly yanks the man down into the tank. The event happens so quickly and violently that it feels unreal, almost like a nightmare. The screen fades to black. The narrative then shifts to Oakland, California, in 1978. We are introduced to Ben, his wife Jules, and their young daughter Rhea. The family runs a small pet shop, a cozy space filled with all kinds of animals, from birds to reptiles to small mammals. Life feels stable and content. They are close, happy, and deeply connected. Jules is particularly knowledgeable about wildlife. Even during casual conversations, she confidently talks about amphibians, exotic species, and rare animals, sharing her passion with anyone who listens. One afternoon, just before the shop is about to close, a government lawyer arrives, asking to speak with Ben urgently. He brings surprising and unexpected news. He has discovered legal documents proving that Ben's late mother owned a piece of land in Oregon, a fact Ben had never known. Jules reminds him that Ben's mother passed away many years ago. The lawyer apologizes and explains that a close friend of his, who has since passed away as well, had once worked with Ben's mother. Among this friend's belongings, the property documents were found, now resurfacing after decades. Legally, the land now belongs to Ben. He is confused and unsure how to process this information. His mother never mentioned the land during her lifetime, yet the lawyer presents valid legal proof. No one can sell or access the property without Ben's signature. Before leaving, the lawyer shares another disturbing and unsettling detail. According to old records, Ben's father and younger sister were reported missing years ago and were never found. Ben is shocked. All his life, he had believed, based on his mother's account, that they had died in a car accident. Both he and Jules are deeply shaken by this revelation. They begin to realize that there may have been secrets in Ben's mother's past, secrets she never shared with anyone. Ben recalls that his mother had spent many years in and out of mental hospitals, which may help explain her silence and the mystery surrounding the family's past. Gently, Jules suggests that this mysterious inheritance might represent an opportunity, a chance to uncover the truth. A few days later, Ben and Jules decide to visit the Oregon property themselves. They take time off work, pack their things, and drive toward the remote coastal land Ben unexpectedly inherited. The landscape is stunning but isolated, with a vast ocean on one side and dense, untamed forest on the other. This is the kind of place that only people who appreciate solitude and quiet would truly enjoy. Along the way, their car is forced to stop when a fallen tree blocks the road. The remaining path is too rough to navigate with a vehicle, so Ben steps out to scout and finds a narrow trail suitable for walking. They continue through the thick woods with Rhea and their dog Toe, until they finally arrive at the old house. The house is barely visible, almost swallowed by overgrown grass, vines, and climbing ivy. Jules laughs softly, saying, "Wow, it's like a hidden castle tucked away in the woods." They enter cautiously, wary of the structure's age. Ben warns Rhea not to touch anything, reminding her that the house is old and potentially dangerous. While Ben explores the interior, Jules opens the back door and calls him over. Outside, they are awestruck by the breathtaking view of the endless ocean, silent and calm under the soft afternoon light. They had not planned to stay long. Their goal was only to inspect the house, perform minor repairs, and prepare it for sale. Perhaps they would stay a week at most. While taking in the surroundings, Ben notices something unusual nearby. A large metal tank stands beside the house. Jules asks what it might be, and Ben explains that these types of tanks were once built to collect rainwater for household use, a common practice in remote areas at the time. Curious, Ben opens the lid and carefully climbs down inside. The tank is deep and solidly constructed, with clean water still flowing through an old system connected to the house. At the bottom, he even finds a rusted old lantern. He does not linger long, climbing back up to join Jules. They begin preparing to spend the night. Ben carries in supplies from the car while Jules starts dusting and cleaning the interior. As they work, they notice that many of the windows have been sealed with wooden boards, likely to prevent break-ins during the years the house was abandoned. Later, while searching through drawers and cabinets, Ben and Jules uncover old documents and photographs. Among the papers, they find evidence that Ben's father and younger sister did not die in a car accident, contrary to what he had been told since childhood. They actually disappeared, and no one knows the truth behind their vanishing. The hidden reality begins to surface, forcing Ben to question everything his mother ever told him. That night, while sorting through old belongings, Jules discovers a diary that once belonged to Ben's mother. In its pages, she had written that her husband had chosen the house on his own and had built the underground water tank system to supply clean, reliable water. From the beginning, the local community did not want them there. The family received several letters asking them to leave. They ignored the letters. The diary becomes more disturbing as time passes. One morning, she woke up and her husband was gone. She and her daughter searched the nearby beach, but he was nowhere to be found. They eventually contacted the police, growing more anxious with each passing hour. At that time, she was pregnant with Ben and deeply shaken by her husband's sudden disappearance. The diary ends abruptly. The remaining pages are missing, leaving many questions unanswered. Rhea, wanting her own space, sleeps in a separate room, while Jules and Ben continue working late into the night. That night, the lid of the water tank outside the house is quietly removed. Something has come out, moving silently in the darkness. Rhea wakes up sensing something nearby. She sees a shadow moving across the floor and panics. She runs to her parents and says, "There's something in the house." Jules and Ben search the entire house, even outside, but find nothing. Ben notices that the tank lid is open, even though he clearly remembers closing it earlier. This makes him uneasy and keeps him on edge the rest of the day. The next morning, Ben repairs the water pump to ensure the system is working properly. In the garage, he finds old wartime supplies, including explosives, forgotten and gathering dust. He goes down into the tank to test the water system more thoroughly. Inside, he discovers a strange, deep, and dark underground tunnel network that seems to stretch farther than expected. He also finds a strange eyeless amphibian creature. He brings it up to show Jules, who is shocked and unsettled. Jules says the creature likely evolved underground, where eyes were not needed, and speculates about its origin. They store it carefully in a cooler, thinking the creature could be valuable for research. Later, despite Ben's warning, Rhea approaches the tank and peers inside. She sees something large moving within and screams loudly. Ben and Jules rush over. Rhea insists she saw something enormous. Ben assumes it is just a wild animal, but Jules cannot shake the uneasy feeling that something is seriously wrong with this place. Suddenly, a woman appears at the house. She introduces herself as Mariel, a real estate agent, and apologizes for entering without knocking. The front door was open. She explains that if they are interested, someone is already looking to buy the property. Ben is surprised by how quickly things are moving, but since they were planning to sell anyway, he and Jules sit down to talk with her cautiously. Mariel reveals that not only the house but also the surrounding land belongs to them, something Ben and Jules did not know before. She says the house likely dates back to the 1800s. When asked who lived there before Ben's parents, she admits she is not sure. It may have been vacant for long periods. She then adds something strange. When Ben's parents moved in, the locals were unhappy and openly hostile. They believed the land was cursed. They claimed that people had gone missing there after a powerful earthquake struck the region years ago. According to local superstition, the earth cracked open and something inhuman emerged, something that still lurked beneath the ground. Mariel laughs it off as mere folklore and says there is nothing to worry about. She then shows them the buyer's offer, which is generous enough to change their lives completely. Before leaving, she tells them the buyer will come to meet them the next day, leaving Ben and Jules to consider their options and wonder about the strange warnings. That night, Mariel drives away through the woods, but her car suddenly stops unexpectedly. When she steps out to check, she is attacked by the creature, which emerges silently from the shadows of the trees. Back at the house, Jules wakes up after hearing a strange sound echoing through the halls. She wakes Ben and insists that something is out there. While checking the house, she sees a dark figure outside the window. She calls Ben over, but he brushes it off, assuming it is probably just a raccoon. Clearly shaken, Jules says she wants to leave immediately. Ben tries to calm her down and says they will leave in 2 days, once the deal is finalized, though unease lingers. The next morning, the water supply is not working, so Ben goes down to the tank to investigate further. He finds a piece of cloth stuck in a pipe, and nearby, the dead body of an animal, possibly a raccoon. He brings it up and shows it to Jules, saying it must have caused the noise the night before. But Jules notices something terrifying. A locket is attached to the cloth. She recognizes it from an old photograph. It belonged to Ben's sister. In that moment, they realize the horrifying truth. Ben's father and sister did not drown in the ocean as they had believed. They vanished right in this very house, and the mystery of the land's curse is more real than they ever imagined. Jules insists that the police must be contacted. Ben drives to the closest police station to report everything that has happened, leaving Jules and Rhea alone at the house. Along the way, Ben notices Mariel's abandoned car on the roadside. As he searches the surrounding forest, he makes a horrifying discovery. Mariel's body lies mutilated, clearly the result of a savage attack. Inside her car, Ben finds a radio and uses it to call for police assistance. Back at the house, the creature returns and once again terrorizes Jules and Rhea. Jules notices that the lid of the water tank is open again, as if something has recently emerged from inside. While searching the house, she discovers the missing pages from Ben's mother's diary. These pages reveal a terrible truth. Ben's father and younger sister did not vanish at sea or die in a car accident. They disappeared inside the tank. Right there beneath the house. Ben races back home, overwhelmed with fear. He feels a brief sense of relief when he finds Jules and Rhea still alive. Later that night, a police officer arrives to examine Mariel's car. Instead, he encounters the creature face to face. The creature hunts by sound and is drawn to damp environments. As the officer reaches for his gun, the creature attacks and kills him violently. Ben witnesses the entire attack from a distance. He realizes the authorities will be useless against this threat. He runs back to the house and tells Jules what he saw. Ben becomes convinced that the creature is drawn to the noise of the water pump. He believes there is a nest beneath the tank, and that destroying it is the only way to end the nightmare. He retrieves explosives from the garage and descends into the tank. Underwater, one of the creatures attacks him. Despite the struggle, Ben manages to trigger the explosives. The tank erupts in an explosion, collapsing sections of the underground tunnels. But the danger is not over. One creature survives and breaks into the house. Ben, severely injured, cannot stop it. The creature seizes Rhea and vanishes into the darkness. Jules realizes that the creature avoids light. This becomes their only hope. Determined to save her daughter, Jules grabs a torch and descends into the tunnels alone. She finds Rhea alive and carefully guides her back, using fire to keep the creature at bay. Deep within the tank, Jules also discovers the dead police officer's body, confirming that the creature drags its victims into its nest. Jules and Rhea manage to escape just in time. Once outside, Jules quickly places Rhea into the car, then runs back into the house to help Ben, who is barely conscious. She picks up the fallen officer's gun and supports Ben as she gets him into the vehicle. Before they can drive away, the creature returns and leaps onto the car. This time, Rhea does not panic. She steadies herself, aims, and fires a single shot into the creature's head, killing it instantly. With the threat finally ended, Jules drives away with her injured husband and daughter, leaving the cursed place behind. Everything finally becomes clear. The secrecy, the disappearances, the lies. Ben's mother was not merely hiding a secret. She was protecting her son. When the creature took her husband and daughter, she was pregnant and terrified. If she had told anyone the truth about monsters living beneath the house, no one would have believed her. Worse, Ben might have been taken from her. So she concealed the truth with a lie about a car accident and abandoned the house, never speaking of it again. But the horror is not entirely over. The tank remains. The tunnels are still open. Anyone who discovers that place in the future may not be as fortunate. Ben's family survived by sheer luck, but they will never forget what lurked beneath that house. And with that, the story ends here. The tank shows that ignoring warning signs can lead to serious consequences. The film reminds you to respect local history and unresolved trauma tied to a place. It also highlights how denial and greed can put family safety at risk.